Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday morning, and also happy New Year's Eve. And welcome to the daily voiceover huddle. Once again, my name is Mike Hathcote. Bill is still taking a well deserved break. So, yeah, glad you could join me this morning. I have had a whirlwind few days. As some of you know, I used to be a professional skateboarder and I still do it. And I'm from Tennessee. And I went back to Knoxville on Friday to do some interviews for a big documentary that we're working on about the history of the Knoxville skateboarding scene. You wouldn't know it because you would think that skateboarding is, the mecca of skateboarding is out in California, and that's kind of where it started, obviously. But um, you wouldn't know it, but the Knoxville, Tennessee skateboard scene has a rich, rich history. So I was born and raised there, and I went back there and shot a bunch of the in-person interviews and stuff. And we're going to be putting a documentary together, coming out. Wow, hopefully in summertime. I got a lot more work to do on it, but anyway, had a great weekend, traveling over to Knoxville to see some friends and family, and, it was great. So, as always, go ahead and chime in on the chat, and, one of the things or the thing that we're gonna talk about today is your voiceover New Year's resolutions. Everybody's got one. Hopefully, you've got one, because I don't think anybody's actually doing every single thing that they need to do. Everybody can learn and grow and do something new to help grow their business, and that's what this huddle is about. This huddle is about giving you inspiration, giving you tricks and tips to move forward in your VO business, and getting it done right. Before we jump into that, and by the way, go ahead and chime in with some of those New Year's resolutions if you have them. I'll tell you what mine is here in a second, and then we'll jump over to the chat and want to hear what yours are. But in the meantime, go ahead and like and subscribe. Check the description down below and make sure that you get all the training and stuff. Maybe your New Year's resolution is to get more training and coaching, and that's what the blueprint is here for. So jump in there and check all that stuff out. But let's talk about what my New Year's resolution is for VO. I've got a few others. Don't we all have a few others for health and stuff like that? Work out, get more exercise, eat better, all that kind of stuff, right? So, what mine is as it regards to VO, um, is to do more auditions. And that may sound like a duh, do more auditions, of course. Well, mine's a little different. And mine is that I get lots of audition opportunities daily because I have like 5 agents. And on top of that, I've got, rosters and things that I belong to. And those audition opportunities come in pretty regular. But because of my existing recording schedule, I stay pretty busy just doing the jobs that come in kind of organically anyway. I sometimes slack on actually doing those auditions. I'll see it hit the inbox and I'm like, "Oh, I've got all this other stuff to do," and I really, I don't pick them all, or I don't send them all, reply to them all. I just kinda let them sit, and then after a while, it's too late, and so I can't send them in. But what I should be doing is taking a break from whatever it is I'm working on, whatever project I'm working on, go do the audition and send it in, and then just get back to work. As we all know, this is a numbers game, whether it's marketing or auditions, any of that stuff, it's all about numbers, right? It's about volume. It's, how many at bats do you have? And every audition opportunity is an at bat. And if you let those at bats just wither away, then that's one less opportunity that you could be winning, right? So I'm not going to rest on my laurels. I'm going to do the auditions as they come in. Don't let them just sit and wither away. I'm going to do them, or at least that's my resolution is to do them, and make sure that I'm getting every at bat opportunity that I possibly can, because that's how you grow a business, right? So That's my resolution, and I hope I can stick to it, and I want you guys to hold me to it. Every now and then, let me, chime in and let me know, say, "Hey, you doing those auditions?" Keeping you honest. So, thank you for that. All right, let's jump over and see what you guys have for your audition, not auditions, for your resolutions. Obviously, always put in where you're calling from, where you're watching from or listening from, and let's get it. Let's see what we got here. Rusty says from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Good morning, Rusty. Rusty was the first one in this morning. Ethan from sunny Toronto. Oh, by the way, it rained every single day when I was in Knoxville. It was cold and rainy every single day. So it's nice to be back in Arizona. Palm trees, sunshine. I believe today's high is something like 75. Loving it. Colin from Houston. Paul says, howdy, howdy, howdy in Arkansas. John, the Irishman, McCarthy. You know what? I watched The Irishman yesterday on the plane on the way home. Good movie. Kind of long. Happy Tuesday from Denver. Terry says, good morning from Falston, Maryland. Nephi from Knoxville. Nephi and I were able to hook up on Friday night for some pizza and chat some VO stuff and other stuff too, but talk a little shop. So it was great to finally meet Nephi face to face. He and I did a demo a while back, a couple of demos, I think, a while back, and it was great to finally get with Nephi. Well, that sun's just now coming in. Let me do this. Good to chat with Nephi face to face. Kirk from Greenville, South Carolina. Jim from Graybill, Indiana. That's 2 for Indiana. Keith in Renton, Washington. David from Hamilton, Ontario. Dory from Maryland. Terry from Dayton, Ohio. By the way, Terry is one of our tried and true, long-standing VO Blueprint guys. He's been on webinars with me for years, and I don't know, years. So he's old school when it comes to the Blueprint. So welcome to you, Terry, as always. Scotty from Brookings, South Dakota. There's Becky. She says, Happy New Year's from Michigan. Have a safe New Year celebration and make your goals count, friends. Mine is marketing like I mean it. That's it. We talked last time about the three-legged stool. Marketing is one of those 3 legs that we talked about, right? If you're not marketing like a madman or woman, you are missing so much. You're missing the boat. So you got to get that marketing, work that marketing muscle every single day. Jim says, good morning from Memphis. Jim's New Year's resolution is getting that first gig. So obviously Jim is new at this. So, or at least I hope you're new at this and you haven't been doing it a long time and still haven't gotten a gig. But if you have been doing this a while or trying this a while and you still have yet to get that gig, shoot me an email. Let's figure out why and get you actually working. But that's a great New Year's resolution, is to actually start working, get those gigs. That's great. Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. Buddy says, morning, Mike. Happy 2025 and beyond. Starting my number 1 resolution early, namely, started by email direct marketing plan Bill and you speak about as part of the 3-legged stool of VO. Absolutely. That, once again, marketing, marketing, marketing. I don't care how you do it. Email marketing is very important. You got to do the email marketing, or at least direct marketing. Just make sure that you don't do direct marketing unless you've got pro quality demos and a great website to showcase those on. So if you're still kind of on that DIY kind of level of your demo, do not do direct marketing, because if you're reaching out directly to producers and stuff like that, they can suss those things out very quickly. So make sure that you've got quality stuff before you do direct marketing. But once you do have that quality demo and a website, sky's the limit. You can go out and market your butt off, and that's how you get to work. Jamie D says, morning from Frederick, Maryland, former radio wannabe. Just trying to figure out how to get started. What's the minimum amount of time needed to get rolling? Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. um, hmm. So it really kind of depends on where you stand in your, whether it's equipment or recording space or training. If you're a radio quote unquote wannabe, there's going to be a lot to have to unlearn from the radio side of things. I started in radio in 1995, and there's so much that I had to literally unlearn to do what is required in VO now. There is just you don't have to sound like a radio DJ anymore, like you used to. Back in the day, you used to have to sound very polished and professional. You don't anymore. You just have to sound real. And so, if you're kind of in that radio muscle, or if you've been working that radio muscle, then that's something that you kind of will have to suppress. But there's so much to kind of go there, to unpack there. As far as the minimum amount of time, I mean, that's hard to put a number on, but I would say, with training and stuff, I mean, you could probably do it in as quick as a couple of weeks, or as much it could take 6 months or more. I mean, I've seen people run the gamut on how long it takes them to get up and running, but it really just depends on, how much time and money. Yes, it does cost a little bit of money to get started in this. Time and money and, effort that you put into it. The more of that you put in, the quicker you can get it done. So, sorry I don't have an actual number there, but that's pretty much it. Scotty says, plan and focus. Make a plan daily and stick to it. That is his VO resolution. Awesome, Scotty. Scotty and I worked on a couple of demos as well. And, now that he's got all that locked and loaded, it's about planning, doing, setting a daily plan or a daily number of people that you're going to reach out to. Once again, it's all about numbers. It's all about the at bats. So the more of those you get, the better your chances are. That's what Scotty's plan is. Excellent. John in ATL says, good morning. But he says, he meant direct email marketing plan. I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking with it no matter how long, no matter what or how long. That's it. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous. I'd much rather be doing recording and these high profile projects, which are great when you get them. But in those in between times when you're not actually doing recording, that is the time to do your marketing. It's like a shark is either swimming or is either looking for food or asleep, right? So anytime I'm not recording, I switch gears into marketing. And even if I can just get a couple of extra in addition to what my assistant sends out, that is what I'm focused on. It's not time to go watch Netflix. It's not time to go, lay down and relax or read a book or whatever. If you're in the middle of your workday and you're not recording, you should be marketing, and vice versa. The narrator says, good morning from Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, and good morning, Denise. Good to see you, and happy New Year to you. GS says, happy New Year from Longview. Police Commander Z3, good morning from Atlanta. Jason says, welcome back, Mike, from Kearney, Nebraska. His resolution is to be able to only have to work part-time at my job due to VO income, with the ultimate goal of only doing VO income. Beautiful. So his goal is basically go full-time eventually, and a lot of people will do that. They will, if they've got a full-time job, they'll kind of, start with VO and kind of nibble around the edges a little bit and kind of work it and build it up until they can actually rip that Band-Aid off and go full-time. With my situation, I was kind of given a violent shove into full time, but some people can kind of ease into it, which is great because you've got that regular income that you can rely on, and then you can kind of build up the VO income so that once that kind of either gets close or matches your regular income, then you can decide, okay, is now the time to just dive in full time. And just remember, when you do that, when you dive in full time, that means that that much more time that you can dedicate to the business. So you can grow it much quicker that way. So excellent, Jason. Good for you. Denise says, adding to roster or adding 2 rosters, expanding on my Upwork and Fiverr profiles and auditioning. That is her New Year's resolution. And, yeah, the once again, rosters are still those at bats. You still get opportunities from them. Sometimes the roster's business, uh, business model is they just send you the work and there's no audition opportunity associated to it. Others will have you audition. However it may be, that is what you do. You just put as much of that out there as you can, and then just work what comes back. Big Daddy Forever says, good morning from Northern Arizona. Wondering when we'll get snow. Oh yeah, so I'm in Phoenix, obviously, so we ain't got no snow, and we ain't getting no snow. But up in the mountains, absolutely. I need to head up to Snow Bowl soon. It's been a couple of seasons since I've actually gone snowboarding. Need to get up there, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that snow as well. Chris says, "Good morning from Battleground, Washington." Good morning to you, Chris. Mike from Oak Island, North Carolina, uh, and his resolution is to continue my narration marketing, power in numbers. Beautifully said, power in numbers. That's what it's all about. Rob says, "Greetings from Loveland, Ohio. My resolution is to keep on keeping on and not let up on my audiobook work." Yeah, Rob is actually um, one of our blueprint teachers or faculty, and his specialty is the sound part of it. The sound quality, which is one of the three stools or the three legs of the stool. And, he's also he's a prolific audiobook narrator, so he knows how to dial in the sound to get it to that pristine broadcast quality, and, so all of our Blueprint members who need to dial in their studio sound, they go to Rob to get it perfect. Rob says, "New Year's Eve in Wadsworth, Ohio. Let's make it profitable." Yes, that's what it's all about, right? Making it profitable, growing your business. The narrator says, "My resolution is to move out of training mode and actually my services on freelance websites." Good job. Okay. So I know, and let me expand on that a little bit. I know several people, well, not more than several people who are professional students, meaning that they continue to buy programs and classes and kind of not really get into the meat and potatoes of it. They're always looking for more training. Well, at some point, you gotta just get out there and do it. How much training is enough? Well, there's really never enough training, but, I mean, I still get training myself. I don't pretend to know everything, and so if I ever find that I'm, not booking as much or whatever, then I'll go get a session with a coach that I trust. And all of a sudden, what do you know? I'm back in the game. So there's always training, but at some point, you've just got to make that leap and just start doing it. Um, that's it. And it sounds like that's what his plan is, to actually get out of the training mode and actually go out and start getting it. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. My email address is just mike@mikehathcote.com. Mike@mikehathcote.com. All right. Let's see. Wally says, "Drove all night back to Maryland in time for your words of wisdom." Well, thank you, Wally. I appreciate that. Figuring out how to build this on the road. Yeah. Well, hey, whatever it takes, man. And that's what's great about, especially about email marketing, is you can do it on your own schedule. If you're relying on just phone, cold calling and stuff like that, you kind of have to do it in work hours, in whatever time zone you're in or wherever you're reaching out to. You have to do it within their work hours so you can actually get somebody on the phone. With email marketing, once again, as long as you've got good samples and a good site, With email marketing, you can send emails out at 3 a.m. if you want to. They'll get to it when they get to it. And I found that the reply rate or response rate from email marketing versus phone calls is about the same. So I'm not going to bother them in the middle of their day. I'm just going to send them an email and they'll get back to me when they can get back to me. Jamie says, "Thank you for the input and a happy new year." Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. Man of Song says, "Happy New Year from Detroit. Go Lions." Selette says, "Happy New Year's Eve from Newark, Delaware." And Selette, I hope you're recovering well. Shoot me an email, Selette, and let me know how you're. It's been a minute since we've chatted. Did a couple of demos with Selette a while back before her surgery. So let me know how you're healing up. Want to touch base. Theo says, "Good morning from the kitchen table in drippy gray, but still lovely Palace Hills, Illinois." Very nice. Tim McCaffrey says, "Happy New Year. Extensive focus on direct marketing in 2025 is my goal." Absolutely, Tim. Tim is also in our blueprint, and he is one of our faithful attendees to our webinars. We have a we have a live webinar literally every single day, and sometimes a couple per day, where you can get instant feedback, whether it's on performance or marketing or tech, where in addition to all of the pre-recorded lessons that are in the blueprint, these are live webinars, either by myself or other people, Rob, Bill, whoever, who can give you immediate answers and feedback. That's one of the big value adds to the blueprint. Jarvis says, "Those decks on display through, though, yeah, or yeah, those decks on display though, yes, yeah." So let me see if I can point. So that one right there is literally signed, autographed by Tony Hawk, Lance Mountain, Steve Caballero, Mike McGill, Tommy Guerrero, Stacy Peralta, Rodney Mullen, the entire Bones Brigade. And those of you who kind of know that scene will recognize a lot of those names. Those guys are all buddies of mine, and I've got so many more out in the office you wouldn't believe. All right, Loretta says, "Happy New Year from Loretta in Crete, Illinois. Happy to be up and running by February." Awesome, or hope to be up and running by February. Yes, take your time, don't rush. I did say it's, good to get out there and start, but don't do it too quickly. You wanna do it right, not fast, okay? So make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row and everything set up before you actually make that leap. And once again, if you do have any questions about how to do that, you can shoot me an email at mike@mikehathcote.com. Khan says, "I've been recording since 2 years. I record in Hindi, English, and Urdu. Also Russian and Arabic accents. I had decent success and am planning to go full time, but AI gets me anxious." Okay, AI. Well, first of all, that's impressive. If you can record in all of those dialects and accents, that's amazing. What that does is it just multiplies your marketability, right? If you can record in all those, you could that's that many places, many different places that you can actually market to. So that's awesome. When it comes to AI, yes, AI is here, and we've all heard the AI voices, and they're getting better, yes, but don't get too worried about it, and here's why. There are the only jobs that AI are going to gobble up and are gobbling up at this moment, are the low end, you know, bottom of the barrel type jobs, where they're okay with good enough. And those kinds of jobs are things like those YouTube videos that were just terrible rates to begin with. Just all those low end jobs that you see on places like Fiverr and Upwork. Those are the jobs that AI is going to gobble up first. But that even puts more emphasis on having a quality demo and a website demos or a website to go out and get the upper tier work. The low end work, that's the AI stuff. The upper tier work that pays more and, pays more for experience, those are the jobs that are still plentiful out there. So make sure that, you know, when you can, you kinda move beyond those bottom of the barrel jobs and go for that upper echelon of work. It's gonna be a long time before AI has anything to do with those, because that is where you're gonna need to actually emote, and I can still pick out AI voices. If you hear them, you can pick them out, and, they're not they're not like the ones from the '80s and '90s anymore, but they are getting better, but you can still pick them out. So you cannot tell an AI how to inflect a certain word here and emphasize this there. You can't do it. There's some generalities behind it, but you can't really do that. So jobs where they want you to emote and inflect and put a certain kind of personality on things, it's gonna be a long time before those go away to AI. So don't get too worried about AI yet. Um, Still plenty of work out there if you have good performance skills and good, content to actually share with people. All right. Who else is chiming in here? Jim, a perfect summary. Jim says AI is not humanly generated. It has no soul. True. Once again, if they want something that's just good enough for their little top 10 alien abduction stories or whatever, that's fine. But if they want something real, they've still got to come to a human. And here's another thing about AI. I've actually talked to a lot of content creators who started using AI and have gone back to human because of its inflexibility. They can't get it to do they can't give it pickups. They can't give it feedback and say, "Can you do this a little differently here? Can you slow this down there?" Whatever it is. So a lot of people have tried AI and they've kind of put their toe in the water and then they've been like, "Nope, not for me. Gonna go back to the humans because I can actually give them direction and they'll follow it." So it's also why following direction is very important. Jason says, "Your skateboarding is awesome. By the way, keep making those videos. I learned to skate in Tennessee too when we lived in Clarksville." Okay, awesome, Jason. I'll keep you in the loop, or you'll probably hear about it when we actually get this documentary done. For those of you who maybe have seen the Bones Brigade documentary that came out about, I don't know, 12 years ago or something like that, it's going to be very similar to that. There's kind of a whole cast of characters that were kind of the instigators in that time frame, and so we talked to each of those, and that's what I did this weekend. I went and interviewed them, and it's gonna be coming out pretty soon. All right, all right. Oh, Jim says, "I skateboarded 40 years ago, quit in '78." "Why'd you quit?" Jarvis says, "Every time I see a documentary using AI on YouTube, the comments are full of dissatisfactions from viewers for it." Oh, beautifully. I'm glad you said that, Jarvis. Here's what I'd like you to do, and here's what I'm gonna put something out for everyone else. If you happen to be on YouTube and you come across whatever it is that's using an AI voice, put in the comments, "Stop using AI voices," right? Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I do that every single time. If I'm watching YouTube and I come across anything that's got an AI voice, let them know about it, because the more people that chime in and let them know, hopefully they'll start using, humans again. So just a one little thing we can do to kind of slow that down a little bit is express our dissatisfaction with the content. Con says, oh wait, I'm sorry. Jim says, "Where can I see some video of you on skateboards?" Uh, YouTube, or well, yeah, if you just Google me on YouTube, you'll probably see a mixture of VO and skateboarding stuff. But you can also if you just get with me on Facebook, if you're on social media, just hook me up on Facebook, and I've got plenty of videos and stuff on there, and Instagram as well. Khan says, "How is the dubbing in video game space? Is lip sync dubbing more tough to learn from home DAWs?" To be honest, I'm not in either of those spaces. I have done a little bit of video game work, but it was really just through, agents and stuff like that. Um, but I don't have not done any dubbing or anything. What I would suggest doing is learning from someone who specializes in that space. It is definitely a very specialized thing in VO, and it's just not something that I've done a ton of. So anyway, um, I wish I had more on that. Theo says, I married a skateboarder and at age 58 last year, finally got my own board. I wouldn't call myself a skateboarder yet, but I'm working on it. Hey, if you're rolling on a skateboard, you're a skateboarder. I don't care how good you are. If you're rolling and you're having fun, you are a skateboarder. Same goes with VO. If you're, if someone pays you money, I don't care how much money it is. If somebody pays you money for your voice, you are a voiceover talent. You know, That's when it turns from a hobby to an actual, profession, right? Even if it's very part-time. If someone pays you money to do it, you're a professional. So keep it up. Scotty says, I did some YouTube work for a client and was accused of sounding like an AI. I am AI? No. I don't here's the thing. I think Scotty, and you and I have talked about that in our sessions. That shaking that radio voice, that radio sound, that announcer sound is, I think, probably why they might have confused you with AI. It's happened to me before too. I've had people I've had, delivered jobs to people, and they've asked me if it was AI generated, and I'm like, I'm a little offended, number 1. You get a little like, "Whoa." But, because I started in radio, I still have to, beat that radio voice down from time to time. And that's also why I do some coaching when I need to kind of help get out of that set, because you can kind of drop back into those easy habits. It's very hard to break. Oh, let's see. The Magnum Report. What's a good way to get more traction on Fiverr? Well, okay, so I mean, let's save the Q&A stuff on for the Friday webinar. I believe Fridays is usually Bill's Q&A. We could be here all day answering questions, and I've got work. I got VO work on New Year's Eve here, so I've got to get to work. But I'll just answer that real quick. Fiverr's weird. Um, there's no magic bullet to becoming successful on Fiverr. Just make sure that your stuff on there is your profile is well built. You've got good samples. You've got good keywords for the search engine, and video always helps. Not just audio, but an actual video demo to showcase, not only what you sound like, but what content would look like with your voice. A lot of that kind of stuff will help on Fiverr. And by the way, we have a Fiverr webinar in the Q&A, or I'm sorry, in the blueprint, one of our webinars on a biweekly basis. We have a Fiverr webinar that we go all way into Fiverr. So, all right. Lots of happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you, everyone. And hopefully, all of your New Year's resolutions will come to fruition. And by the way, I'll be here tomorrow morning as well. Bill will still be out of town, or out of pocket, and so I'll be back here in the morning. And I've got a special one for you tomorrow as well. So I will see you all back here, 7:30 p.m. What is this, Mountain Time? Mountain Time now. So, I will see you all back here tomorrow, and until then, break a lip.